So today we're going to be talking about divas on set and what can you do with divas on set. And when I say diva, I don't mean women. I mean women, men, dogs, whoever's there and who is, acting in a flamboyant way that might be taking energy away from the set, that might ask for a lot of attention, that might be conflictive. And so all of us have experienced that, or most of us have, and I hear a lot of actors, telling me their stories about, having to interact for a small moment, for a co-star, for a guest star, or, you might be co-leads and you might have someone that you're having to act with and that is your, for example, love interest for a whole TV show, and they're being a diva and you have to deal with them. And so it can be very challenging. And when I touch base with actors, the thing that I hear the most is that it's a bad vibe, like they don't want to rehearse with you, they don't want to talk with you, there's no communication, they're being toxic, they're being unfair in a way, like they're taking away all the energy for themselves, they're demanding special treatment, they're being very conflictive and toxic with you, and so it might feel like you're being challenged by them. It might feel like you can't access your instrument because of them. It might feel like you're shrinking because you might be afraid of them and of their temper and their loud voice and humors. And I don't know if the word humor... No, so I don't mean their comedy and their humor, but their moods. I was translating from French to English. Humeur in French means mood in English. So anyway, yes, so you might feel like your instrument is really shrinking and that you're not getting the resources that you want to from the director or from the team because they're taking everything over. You might feel like you're unable to do your job because they don't want to rehearse, they don't want to talk to you, they're changing things at the last time, and you're like in the middle of everything, not knowing what to do. I've heard stories where, the main, diva actor or actress is actually not knowing their lines, but they're not telling anyone, and you know your lines and you're having a scene with them, and they will just do as if you're having a problem when you're just always waiting on them to say their lines. So the type of executions of this are limitless, of course, and it can feel like it's preventing you from doing your best work. And oftentimes I hear actors just try to smile and do as if it's not happening, or get in trouble with them, and then there's more drama and then there's even less access to your instrument. I've heard actors who are like pretending everything's okay and playing their game and going along, in a way being really inauthentic, and allowing the disappointment to affect you. It's not helping you. You're not feeling like you're part of the family, like you're able to do your work right, that you're able to have a good time because of them. And yet you're muting yourself, you're not saying anything, you're keeping it all in, and you're having a terrible experience at the end of the day, right? So I know that's not fun. I know that's not why you're an actor. I know that's not why you're wanting to be engaged in a big team and project where you can all interact. That's not the point. That's not how you want it to look. It's frustrating. It impacts your work and your performance, and yet it all depends on them, because as long as they're being toxic and taking all the energy and not wanting to work with you and being conflictive, it does feel like, it's their behavior that's affecting my result, and there's no way I can change them because they're so messed up. So you kind of have to feel like you have to be a hypocrite, and you end up enabling everything that is happening, right? So that is what I'm usually hearing from actors. And what I would like to touch on today is what's a way that you can show up and so that this doesn't all happen to you, because there's no solution in this version of things where they're misbehaving, you're impacted, it's their fault, there's nothing you can do, everyone's screwed at the end of the day, right? So what I would like to take the discussion to today is probably to a place that you will not want to hear it, but that's where I'll take it anyway. So I'm going to say that the reason that you're really shrinking and that your performance is really impacted is because you are not in your character and because you're in your ego. And when you show up as the actor and as the ego on set, what you're noticing is the other egos on set. And because you're noticing the other egos on set from your ego, what you end up doing is you end up interacting with egos. And egos interacting with each other is not a good recipe for success. It's a great recipe for more ego and more drama, but it doesn't get anyone to a place that is satisfying and that is creative, right? So when you're in your ego, on top of that, you do not have access to your character. And your job description is for you to defend a character in a specific story. Your job description is not to show up as an actor with an ego who needs everything and everyone to align with how you feel, right? Because that would also be kind of a diva attitude. So when you show up as the character, you're in your character's world, and everything that would be intruding into your character's world, you would be able to use for your character because you would read it as the character, as an event that's happening into the character's life. So let me say this again. The reason why you may feel that you're negatively impacted by people who are behaving like divas on set is not because they're bad and you're good and they're taking out the energy and preventing you to do your best work. It's happening because you are showing up in your ego. And when you're showing up in your ego as the actor or the actress on set, you're interacting with other human beings, with other egos. And so that's what you're putting your attention on. And ego plus ego equals disaster. And that's why you shrink. Now, let's put this on the side. If you stop doing that and you start showing up as the character in that story, you are involved with your character's world, your character's thoughts, your character's actions, your character's needs. You're not involved with your ego, your needs. You're wanting to be part of the family. You're wanting to be welcomed. You're wanting to be accepted. You're wanting to find a new friend and to exchange creatively. All of that is not part of the job description. That's kind of a perk that comes with it sometimes, but that's not your job description. That's not why you were hired. That's not why you were paid. You were hired and you're being paid to be the character, to defend the character. So when you're on set, if you're incapable to be the character because your ego is taking over, that's where the problem is. And that's where the solution is, right? So it's not in expecting everyone to behave like you like them to behave. It's not expecting them, everyone is going to be nice with you. People have their own things happening, and we might categorize them as divas. They're only suffering and dealing with something, and they have not found a better way to deal with it than to act out. They're in pain, but that's their stuff. That's what they're busy with. And maybe it fits their character. Maybe they can use it. Maybe they can get into that energy and use it all for the best, right? So what I'm saying is that if you're finding yourself showing up on set in your ego and therefore you're being rubbed off the wrong way and people are not doing what you want and you start shrinking and it impacts your delivery and your performance, that's a red flag. You want to make sure that you have sufficiently worked through that, through your resistance, through your blocks, through your stuff, so that you can show up authentically, free, instinctive, and therefore have an instrument that's available, that's free for the character. If you're not free and you're in your ego, there's no way you can be free for your character because you're not even there. You're somewhere in your ego trying to make everything work for your ego so that you will feel good. It's not about you. It's about a character. If you're unable to be fully present in your instrument, you are unable to be there for your character. So the work to do is not to want for everyone to change. The work to do is for you to take responsibility and to make sure that you can show up professionally, which is, I am this person. This is what I'm wanting. This is what I'm trying to get. These are my thoughts. And to integrate everything that's happening on the set for your character. Some of you will say that, Yeah, but what if it doesn't fit the character, right? And from more than 20 years of experience with more than 1,000 or a couple thousand actors, I can truly tell you that once you're free, once you're really authentically free and open and instinctive, getting into your energy and being into that truth is always something that you can get into, and then you shape it where you need it. So you could be in conflict with someone on set, with a diva, let's say a terrible diva that's taking all the energy and that's being really toxic. If your instrument is free and open and reliable, you can be your character and live that experience as the character. And no matter how that impacts you, you can get in there and shape it and take it somewhere else that will work for your character. And it's probably something that you can't really conceive yet because you haven't been in a free instrument, in a totally free and instinctive instrument. But once you get to that place of absolute presence, of really being in the zone, there is nothing in your impulses, nothing happening outside or inside of you that you can't take and surf with. That's what flow is. That's what the zone is. That's what freedom is. It's not a specific thing. It's really kind of a world that opens up and that you get in, that's where everything is possible, where everything is usable, right?